Welcome back. I'm Darren Chablik. Today we're going to talk about the top 5 outsourcing fears. I've been doing some research on this. I got my own experience on hearing what clients and prospects are telling me about what they're worried about outsourcing. And I got the 5 top fears of outsourcing written down from a whole lot of research here. First one, I'm afraid of having a bad experience. I'm afraid of getting ripped off. All right? Now, come on. Who here has been ripped off getting a car fixed at a mechanic? You still got to go get your car fixed, right? Now, this boils down to the process of choosing the right people. It boils down to a good judge of character. I've used to own a semi truck, and I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on mechanics, and I had a network of trusted mechanics throughout the country, throughout North America. Same thing here. You have to become part of or develop a network of trusted individuals to accomplish the goal of outsourcing. These huge Fortune 500 companies are outsourcing. Why don't they have problems? Because they have a system. They have a proven system to get the best of the best for the least of the least and get the job done. You follow what I'm saying here? So, worried about a bad experience? What did you put into it? You just pay $100 and expect to get world-class results? Did you spend $100 on onlinejobs.ph and expect to get world-class results? Not unless you got this going. You got to have the right mindset to make that work. You got to have a system that you're using. The days of throwing mud on the wall to see what would stick, they're gone. You got to have a selection system, a selection process, a vetting system. The fear of failure because of bad experiences in the past, no good. What did Tony Robbins say? If you predict your future based on past experiences, you're not going to get anywhere. All right? So the fear of having a bad experience again because someone you know had a bad experience, come on. It's like going to a dentist, Once in a while, there's going to be a mistake with a dentist, and they're licensed medical doctors. Sometimes they're going to mess up. It doesn't mean all dentists are bad. It doesn't mean all outsourcing is bad. Anyways, that's the first one. I think we addressed that one. The language barrier. Oh man, the language barrier. Well, you know what? That's communication. Not having the confidence to communicate to the culture and blaming it on the language, come on. When you get that vertical alignment right, when you get through to that person that you want to hire or that person that you already hired, and you get through to them, you go right to the heart, and you're on the same page. The accent, the lack of English goes right out the window because the loyalty is locked on. You understand what I'm saying? The language barrier. And we teach this. I'm going to get to that later. But the language barrier is an excuse for a much more sinister problem. That being, right here, baby, desire to speak to someone's heart. Desire to speak to the culture. You got to learn this, right? You got to learn to speak to the culture. When you speak to the culture, the language barrier goes right out the window, baby. All right? So language barrier, I think we addressed that one. Our client had a fear of language barrier. It was his top fear. We took care of it because he got me to manage his team. That's our top level service. We manage teams of outsourcers from the Philippines. He didn't have to deal with it at all. And I guaranteed my results. So that fear was squashed right there. And we teach our certified vetting students, ones we certify to hire from the Philippines, we teach them how to get through to that language barrier, mid-level service. And our lower level service, our course, our home study course, you learn it there too. We nail it down there too for you. And So language barrier, you got to get through the culture. You got to speak to the culture. So the question remains, what's the culture? That's a call for another day. But you got to speak to the culture. When you speak to the culture, you start understanding the important stuff. And when you start understanding the important stuff, those little misunderstandings, come on, man, that's just an excuse. It doesn't take a whole lot of English to be able to work with someone. You know what I mean? It's like going to a 7-Eleven and buying something. You don't need a whole lot of English to buy something, to communicate with that individual. If you're going to work with the person ongoing, you got to have a mutual respect, and that mutual respect comes from speaking to the culture. When you get a couple main cultural rules down, it's smooth sailing. Now, of course, there's some people that will not be able to speak to the culture because they're idiots. And we weed those people out for our systems because we don't want to work with someone like that anyway. If money is more important than people, I don't want to work with you. And that's it. So let's keep going here. We got, we nailed down the first fear of outsourcing, which was I've had a bad experience, language barrier. The third one is the disappearing Filipino. Now, we've heard of this one before. Never happened to me. That happens when you don't hire the right person. It happens when you don't have a proper selection system. When you have a proper selection system, they're not going to disappear on you. I recently had my part-timer quit on me, but she gave me a beautiful written letter of resignation, 2 weeks notice. She worked up until the last day. Very good communication the whole time. She said, let's keep in touch. She wants to keep the door open. She wanted to study her school because her marks were falling behind. She's studying to be a lawyer. And you know what? She was very professional about it. It was an excellent experience. I would hire her back in the future. There was no disappearing. When someone disappears on you and they go missing, that's because you hired the wrong person. You did not have a vetting and selection process in place to weed out the tire kickers, the people that are not buying the car. They're just looking at the car and kicking the tires. They're not interested in buying that car. You see what I mean? You need the serious people. Follow me? So the vetting process. A vetting process is a selection process. That's what professional sports teams use to select those superstar players. The quality of your selection process equals the quality of the people that you're going to hire. Whatever you tolerate in your selection process when you hire someone, you need to accept after you hire them. So if you accept someone, if you tolerate someone not showing up for an interview or making lame excuses and rescheduling on you, you're going to experience more of that after you hire them, to the point where they quit and disappear altogether. You got to hire the right people, and they could be disappearing because you're an idiot too. If you're treating them wrong and you're not speaking to the culture, they're going to go by too. Now, it's really easy to speak to the culture. Don't get me wrong. It's super easy. There's some core values involved, and that's for a call for another day. All right. So we got bad experience, language barrier, the disappearing outsourcer, and what is it? Quality output, the fourth one. Quality output. You ain't gonna get quality output for $2 to $3 an hour. Says who? I am. We hired a team in March. We've hired 2 additional members. Everybody's working. Everybody's happy to work. $2 to $3 an hour. College graduate wages in the Philippines, by the way. We also hired a guy here for $20 an hour in America. So not only Philippines, our vetting process works in America too. If a college graduate wage is $2 to $3 an hour down in that country, then, and if you treat them right and you speak to the culture, why wouldn't you get quality output for that price? You have to know what you're doing. It's like if you need heart surgery. If you need heart surgery, are you going to get a plumber to do it? No, you're going to get a heart surgeon to do it, right? Or you're going to at least educate yourself on how to do it yourself from the right educational material. Hello, you follow me? All right. So quality output is not a function of what you pay. Quality output is a function of character and of mindset. There's some skill involved too. If they're really good at English, then skill is involved. But if they got the right character, and you got the right mindset, and you got the right character, and you got the right mindset, you're going to get quality output if you follow our vetting process the way it is written. It's easy to do, and it's easy not to do, all right? So no excuses. Now the fifth fear of outsourcing. You get what you pay. And I kind of addressed this one already. You get what you pay for, huh? You can pay $30 an hour and get totally ripped off. You don't get what you pay for. You get what you tolerate, and you get what you accept. If you tolerate a certain behavior in a selection process, you got to accept that certain behavior after you hire them. You get what you accept. You get the standard of what you accept. If your standard is down here for $30 an hour, you could get ripped off. If your standard is up here when hiring for $30 an hour, you're going to get quality output. If your standard is down here when you hire for $2 an hour, they're going to quit on you, or they're going to perform poorly. If your standard is up here for $2 an hour hires, you're going to do well with them. You got to know how to hire for that price too. That's a conversation for another day also. So that's it for today. We covered the top fears of outsourcing, which is I've had bad experiences, language barriers, disappearing outsourcer, quality output, and you get what you pay for. Now, when we do the vetting process and management for you, you don't have to worry about any of this. That's the top level service. $10,000 setup, $5,000 a month management ongoing. Project management, team management, and wages for the team of 3, all paid for 120 hours a week, straight up flat. That's it. That's the deal. If you don't have $10,000 to invest in digital marketing, don't even bother about that one. This is who we're working with right now. You get a full team for that. And the other option is to get certified to do the whole thing yourself. And we'll do it with you through their certification program for about $5,000, all right? And you're going to get incredible results if we accept you in that program, because we have a selection process. Then we have a course, a do-it-yourself course for $2,000. So anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000, you can work with me and hire your dream team that'll blow right past all these fears. I want to thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.